You're such an asshole.
There are some serious humanity affecting choices we must make as a species. Important God damn important decisions must be made to pilot the human race into the future where we are successful or we fail. One of those is whether or not carry-ons are efficient for the airline industry. It's very fuck the presidential election, fuck Russia and Ukraine. We got to figure out whether carry-ons that they should or should not be. Very important. Because I know which side of history I'm going to stand on. But we have a detractor. We have somebody who disagrees. Hello, Cappy. Some people say you are some people might say you are an angry, rude boomer that shouts abuse to your clients, but we, your loyal audience, know that you are in fact an angry, rude Gen Xer that shouts abuse said to your clients. I have requested videos before and you never shouted abuse at me. Well, give it time. But maybe today is the day. I frequently have to fly for work-related reasons. Unlike most of your audience, judging by the comments to one of your videos on the matter, I'm in the minority of despising carry-ons and considering the people that bring them on board to be one of the reasons why flying has become a very unpleasant experience. So if I'm to understand, I want to put words in your mouth. Do you despise them to the point you don't find any use of you just having a carry-on and going past the luggage? Because that's you must really despise carry-ons. And I think your math in the book, in the request, if I remember correctly, you would prefer to forfeit your right to have a carry-on and force yourself to go to the baggage claim because that would take less time on average. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to see if that's what you meant. Let me explain and please analyze my reasoning from I just want to make sure considering people bring them. I'm in the minority of despising carry-ons and considering the people that bring them on board to be one of the reasons why flying has become a very unpleasant experience. Let me explain and please analyze my reasoning from an economics point of view. One, it's quite obvious that if you have your carry-on with you in the cabin, you can get out of the plane and head to the exit without having to wait for luggage. It sounds great if only a handful of people do it, but that is not the case. What ends up happening is that everybody and their mothers want to take a carry-on with them. The overhead lockers will fit maybe 2 per each 3 seats, and boarding gets delayed because the ground crew has to get volunteers to have their carry-ons checked as hold luggage. If most passengers are from countries like Southern European countries, they will try to outsmart each other to avoid being the ones that end up having their luggage checked in, further delaying the process. What about the northern ones? 2, this leads to a second problem. A person will get to their seat, stop, put the carry-on in the overhead locker, which old people and most women struggle to do. I don't know what you're talking about. I have not noticed those trends. Whatever are you saying, sir? Yeah. God, sit in the back. You help? No, fuck you. Give me your social security check. That'll help you. What are you carrying such heavy shit for anyway? And everybody else has to wait. Hundreds of people have to stop and wait for this passenger, and the process repeats tens, if not hundreds of times in each flight every day. You cannot tell me this does not impact boarding and thus economic efficiency. You are so far 100% right. I'm agreeing with you on everything you're saying. And because I make my decisions based on this. So let me tell you how I board the plane. And it's to avoid exactly everything you're describing here. When I board a plane, I will wait till literally everyone else is boarding it. And I'll like stand up, look down the 8, whatever it is, the mobile hallway they use to attach to the plane. I'll see people stand like, nope, not going. You'll hear the gal, this is your last chance to board the booby dooby doo. And then there's other people who believe they're of the faith of waiting till the last minute. You look around like that guy's waiting to be the last guy on too. I'll wait this fucker. Look at that guy. Look at him. He's traveled. He's got patches. He's got patches on his backpack. He knows I'm a traveler too. both got comfortable tennis shoes on. Oh, this guy. All right, we'll just play the waiting game. Looking. And then when I can't see it, then I'll get on. And even then you get there and yeah, you're right. There's still like a clown. It's a circus act. Jamming it in there. Now I don't even bring now I have a personal item. You are talking a carry-on, right? Uh and I don't think we're going to have a disagreement with that because the carry-ons then got to go up above. The personal item is what I maintain and hold sacred. But you're right. They're putting their carry-ons up there, their luggage and all that other shit. You're absolutely right. And so what I do is I wait till they're all there. I get in, it's the least amount of standing. Usually people are kind of seated down and all that. Maybe there's a cute stewardess coming down. I can bump up with her if I kind of scoot past her a little bit. So I wait because exactly I want to avoid that. The other thing I do, avoiding it on the exit procedure, I hate to admit this. I feel a little bit of shame, but there's an economic efficiency involved here. I will spend the extra 10, 15, even $30 at time to be put up in roughly the front third or half of the plane. Because I've literally sat in the back of the plane for over half an hour waiting for all the normie conformity inferior fuckwits to get their shit together and finally get the fuck out of my way. I've seen it. And half an hour in mine, like I could be doing something with that time. And so I will spend, I know, big money, $20, $25 on getting the fronter, not first class. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, being up in the front because it saves me at least 20 minutes from being in the back. So far you are right. I know a person that works for an airline and they had their data analysts going insane trying to figure out why was it they had two flights scheduled to leave the same airport at the same time and one always departed before the other until they talked to cabin crew member who told them one of the flight was operated using a wider aircraft so passengers could squeeze around people that were putting their carry-ons in the overhead locker. So the boarding process was faster. So there is evidence that bringing carry-ons on board slows boarding. I'm not. No, you're not. No. You add any variable, any node, any point of failure, it will make it less efficient. You're bringing on luggage, less efficient. I've never understood the boarding procedure. If you're first class or veteran or whatever, special needs, you can get on first. I understand special needs getting on first because it's the least amount. Like, yeah, okay, have them get on, the wheelchair or whatever. First class, why would you inconvenience them getting on there? What if they gotta go pee? If I was even if I am first class, I wait. I don't know. Am I getting on now? Watching all the weird people who smell go past. No, I'll wait till the very end. But yes, even that adds some complication because now you got the people up front fucking around. Now you let the normal people on, and they got to wait for the first class people to be done fucking around. You are 100% right. Any added variable is going to make that system by necessity more complex and therefore by necessity slower and less efficient. So far, right on everything. Ooh, let me get over here. 3. The second problem leads to the third. I have lost count of the number of flights that I was in that suffered delays because onboarding was so slow that we lost the slot and had to wait 15 to 20. The worst instance is 45 minutes for air traffic control to allow us to depart. And sometimes flying around in circles waiting for air traffic control at the destination airport to allow us to land. 4. Disembarking is a nightmare. 200 people have to stop, reach for their carry-on. Again, weaker passengers struggle to get out. People walking slower because they're dragging a carry-on that hits half the seats on the way out. The best disembarking experience I ever had was on a flight between Sweden and Germany, in which people were requested to check their carry-ons. And because most passengers were Germans and Swedes, traditional ones, not the new Germans or the new Swedes, they just did it. And disembarking was just people getting up from their seats and walking to the exit. I am sure a lot of people disagree with me, but I cannot stop seeing all of these inefficiencies, and I am surely not the only one. As I mentioned with the anecdote of my acquaintance that works for an airline, people working for airlines now, Moreover, the two largest European low-cost airlines now charge for carry-ons. One could think they are just trying to squeeze more money from passengers, and they are. That's the business model. But although it is not always the case, there are routes in which they charge more for a 10-kilogram carry-on than for a 20-kilogram piece of hold luggage. Does any of this get your economic spidey senses tingling? Does it make any sense? Setting aside the possibility of losing luggage, which I never did, and my father, who has been a frequent flyer for 35 years, only had one instance of a piece of luggage being sent in the wrong destination. Is there any downside to pressuring people to travel with whole luggage? Can we board and disembark faster than we depart on time? How much economic production is lost? Is if it to these inefficiencies that could easily be resolved? Now, I can't tie that. I'd have to do a full-fledged analysis. I'd also have to get data from the airlines, which, I'm not joking. It'd be like a $5,000, $10,000 study. Maybe things in the US are in a more accelerated state of intellectual decline and all airlines are equally bad. But here in Europe, most stories of lost luggage I hear are from one or two low cost companies. So if people do not want to lose luggage, I don't know, maybe pay a bit more for the competent service, please name your price. So the main question you have here, does any of this get your economist spider sense tingling? Does it make any sense? It makes 100% complete sense. Now, that's lot. It's right. You got. I wouldn't even call it a thesis. I'd say you have a law. It's true because when you bring on added luggage and you give passengers the average American IQ of about 87, it absolutely does cause delays. It can have a compounding effect, and it could. You know, you don't have the right washer here. The train goes off the train tracks over there, and you got $1 billion oil spill. I mean, it could have, I would say, just some very ballparking estimates, at minimum, tens of millions of dollars worth of savings here for you're talking about for the entire industry. It would not surprise me when you factor in opportunity cost, delayed flights, and all the other cascading effects. I would say billions of dollars, maybe not 10 billion, but 2 to 3 billion a year in savings and cost efficiencies in 1 year. How you'd have to calculate it is you'd have to because you got to get the customers to do it. Okay, you got to get the customers to go on board. We'll discuss that later. But to analyze it, you'd have to figure out how long does it take someone with carry-on luggage to get on, or how would we do it? There'd be two measures you'd have to have them separate. I guess you could average them, combine them, however you wanted to do it. How long does it take someone to get from walking in the door to the plane taking off with carry-on, right? Average it all out. And then also, how long does it take them to get from out of the from the plane out the door when they land? It's going to vary depending on where you're sitting, right? So people who can afford the fronter seats are going to be for carry-on because they're not in the back being traffic jammed. People in the back of seats are probably going to be for it, but the airline should ignore that. Just say, no, what does it take on average for someone? You have to do an experiment, one where everyone's got to go to the baggage claim, right? Everyone, you all go to the baggage claim, get on, get off. How much time was saved doing that versus how much time it would take for everyone to disembark more slowly with carrying on luggage? That would be one analysis. The other analysis you'd have to do is provably, if it's proven, is where they should do an experiment. An airline, the best we could go through and try and trial and error. The best thing to do would be to have an airline. We don't do carry-ons. No, go there and they track the data and they compare. But to factor in the analysis, I agree with you. Slow, dumb, incompetent people with carry-ons probably have caused delays. And that's where I think you go from $10 million, $20 million and all that to the billions of dollars because delayed planes cost a lot of money. Then they push other planes out. Now they got a taxi. Now I got to wait for a gate. If the airlines, to the tune of billions of dollars, would be very interested in getting less flights delayed, they absolutely would. And there could be such a compelling argument, and an airline could do this, saying, you are not allowed carry-ons. You're not. You have to go to the baggage handling. That's it. There's no carry-ons. And then you'd have to see what would happen and how much did they spend less time waiting for their baggage than if they just had the carry-on and shot out, and did you get taken off early, and then what happened to delays? Because I'm sure you can make the compelling argument to people who fly, "Hey, look, um, yes, you'll have this inconvenience of going to the baggage claim, but we are on time, even early, more often than not." And that has to be factored into it. The whole plane is 15 minutes earlier, multiplied to 200 people on the plane. That's a lot of time saving. That's a lot of time saving. And I've never managed an airline, but I'd imagine there'd be some people in the airlines that'd be very interested in that and say, "Oh, we could save how much?" I mean, that could lead to hundreds of millions. I'd say even billions of dollars where if you eliminated late flights by 80% because you find out the choke point is carry-ons. Yes, there's inefficiencies. Yes, it's caused delays. Yes, you're absolutely economically sound. It's going to be how much time and money is it worth switching the current system? So that's why I'm saying it'd have to be an airline that says, nope, we're doing it this way. Or a larger airline, you have to get like, hey, we're an experimental plane. You'll have to check your luggage. So yes, I agree with you. There is inefficiencies. Whether those inefficiencies are so great and can be provably measured that airlines should make a change. And by the way, airlines, don't just change and not tell people. Please educate your clients. Like, it is faster to get us on and off than if you have to check your luggage. You have to check your luggage, right? And then boom, okay, we'll find out. That's the only way, is to like have airlines who do and then airlines who don't. However, sir, don't you dare take my personal item. Okay? And that's where us better people, us superior people, us 1099ers, the superior race, us independent-minded people who don't have to carry on luggage. Because there's luggage you carry on the line, they got the ridiculous, 3 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot cube of crap they don't need, jamming it in and all that. There's an elite group of us in the world who have our personal item, and we're able to fit everything into a backpack. And I had it, man. I had my backpack so tightly packed when I flew out to Asia, and I do the same thing when I go all over. But I'm not really gone for more than a couple days. I just need like 3 pairs of underwear, 3 pairs of socks. I wear my fancy clothes on me so they don't wrinkle if I gotta wear a suit or some kind of nice shirt. Laptop, recording microphone, camera, video camera so I could do my work, toiletries. That's it. And then I will wash stuff in the sink. That's all you need. And there's no better feeling. Like, see, this is why I love Spirit Airlines. I laugh at all you think, oh, Spirit Airlines, or Frontier or Legion. Oh, did it come with 2 wings? Ah, ha, 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 ha. I just need the transportation. I don't need to necessarily fly in luxury. I don't need to carry a bunch of shit with me. I just need my backpack and my lap. That's it. And I could get in. And if we all are allowed to keep our personal item, like a lady's allowed to carry a purse, guy's allowed to carry a backpack, and you can do it. It has to fit in that thing. Okay, fine. If we're allowed to do that, I wouldn't care because I don't have carry-on luggage. I never bring luggage. I just have a backpack. If we're allowed to bring that, that might teach Americans and Europeans minimalism. You don't need to bring a bunch of horse shit. It might teach people to be a little bit faster. Like, oh my God, we got off the plane a lot faster. And then it wouldn't surprise me. All of you get off the fucking plane now. Go down there, get your baggage. The other thing, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in this. The other thing that would make your theory a reality, you'd have to have top-notch baggage handling. You're like, hey, we're training the best baggage handlers. We don't miss luggage. We got a foolproof system, and you get that in there and you get it fast and boom, boom, boom. I'm sure it also depend on the baggage handling physical system at each individual airport, but you would pay to have the baggage handlers. You'd pay them a couple little extra bucks per hour. Like, yeah, you're the best, and here's the training. And this is how it's critical to the success of our airlines. But yes, it is. You're correct. You're right. To what extent you're right is another debate, but you are right. It does cause inefficiencies, but don't you take away my personal item. Okay. I need that. That's why we could all fly Spirit Airlines for $58 round trip. We could all have the hot young stewardesses because it's such a low ranked airline. They only take the rookie entry level, and the girls, this is the only place I can get. But then it has a blessing. Like the young girls are here. It's not the old fat unionized gal who's like, on her last 40 years. They're like, no, it's the young cute, and they got this sexy little scarf. Don't believe, go fly Spirit Airlines. Prettiest gals in the air. All right. Let's go to the super chats. We ain't super chats. No super chats. There we go. All right. That's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.